All right.
Yeah, which they're nothing but Agagites. All right, they came from Agag, which came from Esau, Amalek. Okay, those are the Chaldeans today. What?
So Jeremiah 50 and 35, a sword is upon the Chaldeans, saith the Lord, and upon the inhabitants of Babylon.
And upon the inhabitants of Babylon, which are you Americans, man. Okay, the Lord has prepared you for the sword. All right, and that sword is gonna come cleaving via the missiles, man. The Lord said, "Behold, my sword shall be bathed in heaven, and it shall come down upon Idumea." That's it. It shall come down upon Idumea, man. And Idumea is America, which is modern day Rome, which is modern day Babylon, which is Babylon the Great. Okay, the sword is going to come down upon this bitch, man. Alright, just like that movie, not Highlander, what was it called? It's on, fuck, I forget. But he threw the sword, and the sword came and it fell, landed in the grass. Well, that sword gonna go up and come down.
On the opposite side, second and Santa Clara. Or Sacramento.
This Isaiah 34 and 6. The sword of the Lord is filled with blood. It is made fat with fatness, and with the blood of lambs and goats, with the fat of the kidneys of rams. For the Lord hath the sacrifice in Bozrah.
Which Bozrah is America. All right, the stronghold of Edom. Okay, and it said his sword is filled with blood. Because those missiles, okay.
That's a lot. That's like verse 5. It says, "For my sword shall be bathed in heaven."
Yeah, his sword shall be bathed in heaven. Okay, these missiles, these ICBMs, they go into outer space and get propelled via the satellites. So when they go into space, they have calculators and computers, which computer is a calculator. It computes, okay, the destination and navigation of these missiles to come down.
It's Isaiah 34 and 4. It says, "And all the host of heaven shall be dissolved."
We'll start above that. Start at one.
Isaiah 34 and 1. It says, "Come near, ye nations, to hear, and hearken, you people. Let the earth hear, and all that is therein."
Yeah, we're a prophet not only to Israel, but unto the nations. So you're going to hear the end before the end comes. This word has to be pushed throughout the four corners of the earth, throughout the world, and then shall the end come. So come here, ye nations, and ye nations are coming here. Here. How do we know that? Because you nations are getting ready for war. Okay? You regular citizens of you nations don't matter, just like 2/3 of our people don't matter. But your kings, your elite, your higher-ups, they're hearing what we're saying. They're knowing that America's weak now. Alright? And everybody is picking which side they want to be in. Do they want to join up with NATO? Do they want to join up with the BRICS? Do they want to remain neutral? These countries are picking sides. So these nations are coming near, they're hearing. And we do have to preach the word amongst these nations, because our people are scattered amongst these nations.
It says, "All that is therein, the world, and all things that come forth of it. For the indignation of the Lord is upon all nations."
The indignation of the Lord, meaning the righteous anger of the Lord, is upon all nations, including his own nation, man. 2/3 gotta die. It's upon every nation. Okay, the Lord don't discriminate. He's not gonna say, "Oh, but I like the gook slanty eyes. I like the way that Arab wear that turban." Okay, no. The Lord's out to get all nations, man. including 2/3 of our own.
It said, for the indignation of the Lord is upon all nations, and his fury upon all their armies. He hath utterly destroyed them. He hath delivered them to the slaughter.
Yeah, he's going to utterly destroy them. How he's going to send them to war against each other to kill each other. And he got snares and traps set up, man. Okay, the chariot's going to come back, destroy him. Leviathan going to come out the water. Okay, Leviathan going to come out the seas. And we don't know how big they are. They say that they're so big. They say that they're so big that missiles ain't going to kill them, man. Okay, because the Bible calls swords and spears, okay, Slakia. Swords and spears are symbolic or parabolic for missiles and different types of weaponry. Nobody nowadays fights with a sword and spear. You don't see a navy of ships with guys on there hitting other boats with swords, stabbing other boats with spears. No, it's talking about their artillery. Different missiles they shoot. They're going to be shooting those in Leviathan. And Leviathan will come up fucking blowing fireballs and smacking fucking armies out there in the Middle East and throughout the four corners. Upon all armies, all nations. The missile's going to totally dissolve their armies, man. But Leviathan too, he's going to be shooting fireballs and whatnot. Lasers going to come out of his eyes.
Zephaniah 3 and 8 says, therefore wait you upon me, saith the Lord, until the day I rise up to the prey.
Yeah, the Lord going to rise up to the prey. He going to rise up to our enemies, man. We ain't got to do nothing but prophesy. We ain't got to do nothing but preach the word. So why get weak, you know? Why get scared? Okay, the Lord ain't saying we got to preach the word and go fight World War III. He didn't say we have to do that. He didn't say we got to take down Esau, find a way. No, the Lord said he's going to get rid of Esau. He's going to rise up against him. All we got to do is preach this word where our people are and tell these other nations are going into slavery and they're going to be destroyed.
For my determination is to gather the nations, that I may assemble the kingdoms, to pour upon them mine indignation, even on my fierce anger. For all the earth shall be devoured with the fire of my jealousy.
Yeah, the whole earth is going, not the whole world, planet is actually going to get hit with nukes. But for the most part, where all these major countries that these armies are from are going to get hit with some kind of missile. Russia gonna get hit with missiles. China gonna get hit with missiles. Japan gonna get hit with missiles. Korea gonna get hit with missiles. Europe gonna get fucking hit with missiles. Okay? America's gonna be the one to get devastated by these missiles. Okay? But the world is gonna be devoured, engulfed in the flames of the Lord's indignation, man, the wrath of his fury, which are ICBMs and other nuclear bombs.
2 Ezra 15 and 20, behold, saith Yahweh, I will call together all the kings of the earth to reverence me, which are from the rising of the sun, from the south, from the east, and Libanus, to turn themselves one against another, and repay the things that they have done to them.
Yeah, World War III, man, to turn against another. He said all nations from the rising of the sun and from different parts. We're just talking about the Middle East, the whole world, man, the four winds. To reverence him by doing what? Killing themselves, killing each other. Slakia. Go ahead.
Now we'll go back to Isaiah 34, 3. Their slain also shall be cast out, and their stink shall come up out of their carcasses.
Yeah, their slain shall be cast out. There's going to be dead people everywhere, man. Their carcass is going to stink. Your carcass is a dead body.
Their stink shall come up out of their carcasses, and the mountains shall be melted with their blood.
Yeah, mountains shall be melted with their blood. Man, he said to come to the valley of Yehoshaphat, or Armageddon, which means mountain of troops. That mountain out there is going to be melted with blood, man. It's going to be on fire, just dead bodies, man. Blood is also parabolic for death, man. Okay?
And all the host of heaven shall be dissolved.
All the host of heaven, which is the rulership right now. Okay? The rulership right now is the so-called white man and these other nations that are up. BRICS nations and NATO nations. Or BRICS nations and NATO and EU countries. Those are the hosts of heaven. Host means armies of heaven. These militaries, man. They're going to get gobbled up by the Lord's UFOs, chariots, the lasers that come out of them, and the missiles. Right?
It says, all the hosts of heaven shall be dissolved, and the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll.
Boom, that's talking about mushroom cloud. Okay? Everybody's going to see a mushroom cloud. The elect is going to see a mushroom cloud. It's just, we're going to see it from different point of views. Lord willing, we're part of the elect. You know, the elect, you're going to see them mushroom clouds from outer space. You other nations, the two-thirds, you're going to see them hit you, man. You're going to see them hit other parts and hit you. Okay? And it tells you, and before the people shall be much pain. Before the nukes hit, people are going to be terrified, traumatized, man. People are going to give up the ghost before nukes hit them. And then the Lord going to say, nope, I ain't letting you die like that. He's going to put your spirit back in your body, man. And have you bathe in that, man. Okay? What?
Revelation 6 and 12, and I beheld when he opened the sixth seal, and lo, there was a great earthquake, and the sun became black as sackcloth of hair, and the moon became as blood, and the stars of heaven fell into the earth, even as a fig tree casteth her untimely figs when she is shaken of a mighty wind. And the heaven departed as a scroll when it is rolled together, and every mountain and island were moved out of their places. Yeah, so just going further in to the heavens being rolled together as a scroll, it's talking, which is more edification, more scriptures on the nuclear mystery. All right, you got the sun going to be black and the moon turn to blood, which we already had a solar eclipse and a blood moon. You know, when the stars fall from heaven, these nukes are going to fall from outer space because they're going to be shot, just like it says, my source will be bathed in heaven. So these nukes are going to fall from heaven, they're going to hit the earth, all right, and destroy these different civilizations, these different kingdoms around the earth, man. And you're going to see these mushroom clouds coming up out of the earth. All right, very high. You can see them from miles away, from one end of the earth to the other. These other nations, they're going to be able to see from their land mushroom clouds springing up, nuclear bombs detonating on America, man.
Yeah, because the seventh trumpet has to do with the total nuclear destruction. Okay. He shall deliver thee in 6 troubles, yet in 7 shall no evil touch thee. We're in between, all right, the 6th and 7th. Okay. Good.
It says, and all the host of heaven shall be dissolved, and the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll, and all their hosts shall fall down as the leaf falleth from the vine, and as a falling fig from the fig tree. For my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea and upon the people of my curse to judgment.
Yeah, the Lord cursed Idumea. He cursed you Edomites. How did he curse you? He cursed you with leprosy, man. You got the mark of Cain. Okay? You Edomites are the only nation on the earth that were born with that color. Being red, being so-called white people. Okay? Then you got Israelites that look like Edomites. But that's an indicator of who you are. That's that mark of Cain. That was the mark that the Lord put on Cain for all the nations to know not to kill him. Okay? Because if not, and the Lord didn't put that hedge over Cain, he would have been destroyed. Because the Lord had purpose for Cain.
As long as it's out.
Oh, his sword shall come. His sword shall be bathed in heaven. They swim in outer space, man. They swim through the atmosphere, stratosphere. And then they come down, and they're going to come down upon Idumea, which Idumea is a Greek way of saying Edom. All right? You had dumbass Edomites talking about, oh, then how come the Roman Empire or the Greek Empire were cursing out Idumeans? It had nothing to do with Idumeans. It's just like today, how you got Russians and you got so-called Jews. when they all came out of Georgia, Russia, Caucasus Mountains, they split from there. Some, okay, took on Judaism, which is backed up by the Babylonian Talmud, and some took on Islam, man. Okay? That's how you had the separation between Esau during those times. Some took on Islam, and some took on Judaism, man.
Zechariah 14 and 12, and this shall be the plague wherewith the Lord will smite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem. Their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet, and their eyes shall consume away in their holes, and their tongue shall consume away in their mouth.
And a good vision of that is Terminator Judgment Day. Okay, when Sarah Connor is holding on the gate of the playground, screaming out for the children, and she's getting melted, man, by the nuke. And you know what? The fire of the nuke didn't even touch her yet. It was just a flash, and that started melting her, man. Her eyes started melting in her eye sockets. Her tongue was melting in her mouth. Her skin was melting off her body. And then she got destroyed, obliterated. Well, that's what's going to happen to you people, man. But except the Lord isn't going to allow you people to die right away, man. He's going to torture you in that fire. That's why it says they shall have no rest day nor night. The Lord is actually going to keep your body, your spirit in your body, and torture you, man. For whoever knows how long. If he wants to keep you there a day, 2 days, hey, you'll know when it happens. Okay? But the Lord is going to torture people with that fire.
Yeah, because it said that this is a plague that's going to be against everybody that fights against Jerusalem, right? So Psalm 83 and 1 says, keep not thou silence, O power, hold not thy peace, and be not still, O power. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. The tabernacles of Edom, so-called white men, the Ishmaelites, the Arabs, Moab, Chinese, and the Hagrides, the Hamites, Gebal and Ammon, the Japanese, Amalek, all right, the so-called Jew, the Philistines, the inhabitants of Tyre, the sword, the Assyrians, also is joined with them. They have hope in the children of Lot, Salah. So all these other nations have came together with the so-called white men to take down Israel. So you all fought against Jerusalem.
Yeah, and even 2/3 of our people fought against Jerusalem. Because when you fight against Jerusalem, you fight against the truth, the men of the Lord. So even 2/3 are going to have to die in Edomites dead, because these nukes were created to slay the third part of men, as it tells you in Revelation 9. So Jake and these other nations are going to die in Edomite death. And you know what? That's how you know it's an Edomite death, because not all these nations are going to die, man. Because who is going to build up the kingdom of heaven? These other nations, man, and these heathen. 2/3 of our people are going to come back and be righteous, man, because they're going to come back through procreation of the elect, the men of the Lord.
All right, I'm going to go back to Revelation 11. This Revelation 11 and 3, we'll start at 3 again. And I will give power unto my 2 witnesses, and they shall prophesy 1,260 days, clothed in sackcloth. These are the 2 olive trees and the 2 candlesticks standing before the power of the earth.
Which is the northern and the southern kingdom, good.
And if any man will hurt them, fire proceedeth out of their mouth.
We're talking about men receiving spiritual power. The elect men of the Lord are going to receive spiritual power, and it's coming soon. Okay? It's coming soon. Right? If any man shall hurt them, fire proceedeth out their mouth. We're going to be able to blow fire. If we want, we can throw fire. Okay? Just like Dragon Ball Z. In Dragon Ball Z, they were able to do things like that. They were able to blow laser beams out their mouth like fire beams, shoot fire beams out their hands, out their eyes. Okay? It's not far-fetched why people can imagine, envision cartoons and animes to do these things, because anything imaginable is anything that can happen. Nothing is impossible with Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, as it is written. All imagination, inspiration comes from who? Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. So if you think something, especially if you get the spiritual power, I want a dragon to come out of nowhere. Hey, Leviathan or a dragon could come out of nowhere now. Okay, the Lord Yahushua said, these things I do and ye shall do in greater. Yahushua created everything you see. So what's going to stop you from being able to instantly create something, manifest something through the Spirit? Okay, we are gods, man, as the scripture tells you. Psalms 82:6 says, ye are gods, talking to these people. Yahushua said it in the New Testament. Isn't it written in your scriptures, in the Holy Scriptures, that ye are gods? And he rebuked them because they said, oh, you said you're the Son of God. Well, the scripture tell you you're a Son of God, you are God.
This is St. John 14:12. Verily, verily, I say unto you, he that believeth on me, the works that I do shall he do also, and greater works than these shall he do, because I go unto my Father.
And Yahushua had the power to cast out devils. He had the power to heal the sick. Okay, make the blind see. Okay, make people that were lame walk. He brought people back from the dead. So the men of the Lord are going to receive power like that in this lifetime. The Lord is going to perform miracles so that people can believe. Okay? He said that these things will happen. We could jump back to Revelation 11.
Yeah. Hey, the Lord said if I could pray to the Father and he would send me 10 legions of angels.
12.
12. He said he would send them legions of angels.
And I believe in a legion consists of 12,000 to 40,000, I believe. When the Bible tells you that there's thousands and thousands of angels. So 1,000 times 1,000, I believe, is over 100,000 in itself. But that's just 1,000 is also another number for completion. There's an infinite amount of things out there we don't know of. Okay?
Said, if any man will hurt them, fire proceedeth out of their mouth, and devoureth their enemies.
And devour their enemies. Which is going to happen when Esau come in like a flood. The Lord is going to lift up a standard against him. Which you can get that as well.
Little like wristings or helmet.
Because Esau at one time is going to, in this lifetime, is going to come against the men of the Lord. Because we're prophesying against his kingdom. Prophesying against his existence. Okay, because Esau, Edom, the so-called white race, is abnormal. They're against nature. They're wicked. And you people don't have to believe it. We don't care what you people think, man. We're only concerned about the elect. But they're going to come up against us, man. They're going to try to kill us. They're going to bring troops. Okay, special agents, literally targeted just for us. Top mighty men that just do nothing but study us personally all day. What we like to watch, what we like to eat, what our women look like, what our children do, what we buy on the internet. They study all that, man. So that way when they come up, they don't come up to us like they're our best friend. They don't come up to us like sadistic serial killers, man. I was watching Tales from the Crib last night, and there's this guy. He was into tracking down old rich women and killing them after he marries them to inherit the money. But before he did that, he'd have to investigate them to see what they like, so that he could easily just slide in there. That's what Esau gonna do, man.
But you see, that's what stalkers do. And it's easier.
Esau's a fucking stalker.
It's easier now more than ever because of social media. People, you put your whole lives on a platform. You know, you talk about everything that you do during the day. That's why social media was created. Why you think it asks you to put what are your likes, what are your dislikes, you know, what are your hobbies, what's this, what's that, they're gathering data. They're finding out everything about you, who you are, what you like. That's what stalkers do. All right, so they come, they know exactly who you are, man. They're gonna know you better than you know yourself, man. They got these mind-reading technologies. That's why you go on to Google, you go to the Google search, you're searching up something, it gives you you just put in 3 words, you put in 3 letters, you put in 3 letters, and it pops up exactly what you wanted.
Yeah, you look at, this is Psalm chapter 64, verse 1. Psalm 64:1. To the chief musician, a psalm of David. Hear my voice, O Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, in my prayer. We can close it with this. This is beautiful.
All right.
Preserve my life from fear of the enemy. Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked.
That's the elect are the hidden ones. Hey, look, the Lord's going to protect his elect. All right. You know, the Lord has it tells you the Lord has a snare set. Wait, when you think that you're going to do what you're going to do, the Lord's going to rain upon you, man. All right, my EMP might go off and just shut your whole grid down, man. All that information, all that data you collect, the Lord's going to disappoint your devices, Esau. You ain't going to be able to do what you want to do, man. That's why. Oh man. Oh. Look at it.
That's a bad TV guy.
This is Jeremiah 50 and 20. In those days and in that time, saith the Lord, the iniquity of Israel shall be sought for.
Oh, well, I was wondering. This is going to go right
Oh, go ahead.
This is Psalm 64:2. Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked. Which is the secret counsel? Fucking Illuminati, man. The elite of Esau. From the insurrection of the workers of iniquity, who whet their tongue like a sword, which they do that with all their ceremonies or their UN meetings. Okay, they do that when they pass all these bills. Because words are written on these legislations, these executive orders. Okay, they whet it like a sword. And bend their bows to shoot their arrows, even bitter words, that they may shoot in secret at the perfect. Suddenly do they shoot at him and fear not. They encourage themselves in an evil matter. And what do they encourage themselves in? Destroying our people, men, as a whole. They want to eliminate Jake off the face of the earth, set up a new world order, equip people with a chip so that they can take out Jake. The mark of the beast is not only to control and govern people with the ease of a button, but also to eliminate Jake. They want to equip the world with the chip to eliminate Jake.
That's true. Yeah.
It says they commune of like snares privily. Yeah, we're gonna do martial law and we're gonna close down the cities at this certain time. All the highways and freeways, this is all by design, man. So that they could just shut it off and close it all down and trap people.
And these cities are a trap.
That's a trap. It says they say, who shall see them? That's what they call themselves, the Illuminati. Okay? They search out iniquities. They accomplish a diligent search. Both the inward thought of every one of them and heart is deep. So they're watching everything we do, man. Okay, they search diligently. They know our name, they know our parents, they know everything about us, man. And you know, it's really dumb. You know, if you have Facebook putting things on there, you know, that is of the truth. Or to expose yourself, man.
Dude, you try to get a job, they run a background check, they find your Facebook and they say, oh my God, look at all this content that he has on there. White people are the devil. America's gonna be destroyed. We can't hire this guy. He's American.
And things are done in the world. They're looking at your school records, your school reports, the girls you dealt with, checking all your phone numbers from every phone number you had. You know, your high school photos, they got all that, man. They make a diligent search, man. They know your favorite food, what you buy on your credit card every paycheck, what you spend your money on every moment. They know all that, man. So you could be chilling somewhere, and this nigga sitting right next to you is a fucking agent the whole time. Just watching you eat the same food you're eating. Not even talking to you.
Hey,
There's been many times where I've went somewhere and there'll be a dude that you could tell is a fucking agent, man. He'll have those black agent glasses on, wearing a nice a dress shirt, not even a suit, but a nice dress shirt. And you can tell this motherfucker's an